So if you would have a seat, get comfortable. We'll take just a moment to kind of wiggle and fidget and get into our chair. And just kind of shake off the getting up, getting over here in the morning. And then have a seat and gradually see if you can find some balance between the two sitting bones. And when you feel more balanced, it's a little easier. You'll feel the heart lift and the head lift. All feeling good. And we'll just, for a moment, feel the breath as it moves through the body. For a moment, just acknowledging your body for it continuing to breathe you without your conscious efforted thought. Just happens. So perhaps taking a moment of gratitude for what your body does for you. How the blood pumps and the breath breathes. All the other countless things that your body's doing every day to regulate and balance you. When you're ready, we'll bring our hands somewhere to the front body. Just for a moment, bowing your head in honor of the miracle that is you. And all your physical and other parts of yourself, your whole self. And we'll let the hands come down and the eyes open. Good. So why don't we start today with just a little bit of a side stretch? And you can start by just kind of, like a little airplane side to side, just beginning to invite movement. And maybe gradually let one arm tip a little higher, and the other one a little lower. And just find the appropriate place for your body to be today. So some shoulders don't want to have the arm directly above it. Maybe this is enough stretch for you today, and that's where you want to work. So just exploring and finding, where is the place for me to be today? And then once you've found it, go ahead and hold that place for a little bit. Just breathing into the stretch of your side body, wherever your arm is today. And then going the opposite direction, finding that right place to be, and knowing that you maybe could go further, but then if you start to grip, perhaps your body wouldn't let go as much. So stop before your body starts gripping and just be in a place of ease and comfort. Good. And then release. Excellent. All right. Give the shoulders a little forward roll. They can be together or one at a time. And then we'll go the opposite direction and just kind of shake it out. Good. Beautiful. And then if you would join me, we're going to stand up and come to a doorway or a wall, whatever you have. This isn't perfect, but I'm just going to use this wall, and I'm taking one hand to the wall and I'm going to turn away from the wall a little bit. So it looks like this. My hand is on this imaginary wall and I'm turning away. until I feel some stretch here across. Now, if this height is not comfortable, bring your hand down a little bit. All right, so again, finding the height that serves you as you invite just a little openness into the chest. You can softly bend the elbow a little bit so there's not strain on that joint. Just going to breathe there a little bit. And then the ear that's away from the wall, we're just going to tilt towards the shoulder. So feel the stretch to the side of this neck. And so again, you might be able to go further than you choose to go. But what I want you to listen to is what this side of your neck says. So even if your range of movement would allow you to go deeper, only go so far that you feel a nice stretch, but not one that causes you to go catch your breath, right? So be here gently. And then let's just tilt the head forward a little. It's still ear towards shoulder, and then the whole head comes forward a little bit. And you'll feel this, the change to the stretch, more to the back of the head and neck. And then ear to the shoulder, and now tip your head back just a little bit. Again, breathing, sending oxygen to all these areas that are stretching. And then ear to the shoulder and bring the head up. And now let's drop that arm and just kind of swing it. Maybe across the body. Maybe let your head kind of tilt down and move side to side with your swaying body. And then let your chin just drop down and then slowly roll up. Okay, so you're probably feeling quite a lot of blood flow, maybe a little tingling on the side of the body you just worked. So now let's do the other side. So now I've got my hand on this wall. And I don't need to turn away far, because once I take my head away, I'm going to get quite a bit more stretch. So you don't need to turn away much in order to get a stretch to your pec minor and into the shoulder and side of your neck. We'll just take a few breaths here. And now the ear is still down towards the shoulder, but let's also take the head forward a little bit. And then back a little bit. And then ear to the shoulder again, and then lift the head up. And let's move this arm, move this shoulder and the chest, anything that would feel good to you. Maybe arms swinging together and apart a couple of times. Good. Okay, maybe the shoulders roll. And then shake out the hands. Okay, good. So let's play with another little variation here. We often do, excuse me, powerful pose. And that's the one where, get this chair out of the way, where the knees bend, the ankles bend, and then we slide the hip crease back a little bit, but we keep the heart upright. And sometimes we keep our hands on our hips or forward ahead of us. Sometimes we bring them up overhead. Today, my suggestion will be to take your hands a little bit above the shoulders here, but maybe not quite as high as we can go. Walk away from the wall, bend the knees, slide the hip crease back. And so this is a variation of Utkatasana that happens at the wall. So I'll walk you through that again, but I want you to see it first. Pardon me. You can tell the heat's on. All right. So we're going to bring the arms up to the wall. Walk the feet back a little bit, bend the knees, and then slide the hip crease back. And keep the head and the chest lifting up and draw the belly in. So your fingers can barely brush the wall if it's more comfortable, because I don't know why, but my fingertips into the wall doesn't feel good. I like to turn my finger pads to the wall. That's fine, except that maybe it's better to turn the palms upward if your fingers are uncomfortable. So you encourage the external rotation of your upper arms. And in the meantime, we're using our core to keep the low back long. And we're using our big quadriceps muscles here in the front of the thighs. They're working. You can come deeper or higher, depending on what your body needs today. And then we'll step out. And just walk around for a moment. Loosen up those muscles. Maybe let the arms swing a little bit. Yep, that feels kind of nice, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to do that same thing again. So Utkatasana, you can use the wall or not. Here it is. I'm bringing my arms out in front of me. Using the core. Lifting the heart. Building the strength we need to get ourselves up out of the chair. You know, sometimes it's hard to get out of that chair, right? And now push into the floor and lift up. And again, just kind of walk around. Hi, Gracie. Oh, good. And then let's just do a half down dog. Now you can use the wall or you can use your chair. I prefer a chair, so that's what I'm going to use. But you're welcome to use either one. And it looks like this. We'll take our hands to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair, walk away, bend the knees a lot, and then slide this hip crease away from the chair so that the spine is nice and long. Here again, the shoulders like to creep up around the ears, so let's soften them down and turn the upper arm bones away from the ears. And we're using our tummy to support our low back. And you can bend and unbend the legs any amount that feels good to you today. So I like to inhale, bend my knees deeply, and exhale, unbend the legs to the degree that feels right today. And in that way, we're getting some blood flow into the hamstring muscle group, giving it a little stretch. And then we'll hold this downward facing dog with the legs as unbent as they can comfortably be today, with the belly supported and the chest broad and open, the spine nice and long, with your head right in line with the spine. So try not to lift or drop the head, but keep the head in line with the rest of the spine. Couple of big breaths, filling out that space between the shoulder blades. And then walk towards your chair, push into the chair, and then to the back of this chair and come on up. And again, just give yourself a little unwinding, a little unraveling. Good. All right. So one more standing pose before we just kind of bring things inward a little bit. And that is a quadricep stretch. So you can use your wall for stability or your chair, but let me show you what it looks like. Now, some of us will be able to reach our ankle or a foot, and some of us will not. So if you had a towel at home or a belt from a robe or a strap, you could do this and work here. Okay, and if you were able to get to your foot or your ankle, that's just fine too. But that's the shape that we're making. So we're bending this outside knee, holding onto a strap, pant legs, your sock, your foot or your ankle, and then let's draw the belly in, reach the heart up, and let this arm open so that the chest is open right here too. So now we're stretching those big front muscle groups of the front of the thigh that were doing some work for us as we squatted. So we're giving them a stretch now. And release. And let's just kick and bend a couple times. Good. And then we'll do the other side. So again, perhaps on one side you can reach, and another side not so much, but that's okay. We can get creative here and maybe hold on to the strap. So the tendency is to collapse, but we're going to turn the armpit open and come here into this stretch. So here we are. So this is my tighter side. I can definitely feel it. I can feel my knee wanting to pull ahead or to the side, but I'm going to keep angling the kneecap down to the floor. Draw the belly in, lift the heart. Give that quadricep group a chance to open. And release. Good. And you might kick and bend a couple of times. Good. And then we'll face forward. And let's just soften the knees, maybe take your feet apart a little bit and just shake out a little. Ooh, ah. So you can shake in any way that feels good to you. You can shake and transfer away. You can shake and let your arms come up. You can add your head. Whatever feels good to you. Just for a few breaths. Getting our energy moving, our lymph moving, and then standing in Tadasana. Our mountain pose. Bring our feet in just a little bit closer. And let's bring our hands like a little bowl right in line with our pelvic bowl. That's it. So imagine this bowl is full of everything you need and all that you are. And let's sweep one arm out to the side, gathering up any scattered energy that we might need, pulling it down through the heart, packing it into the bowl. And then we'll extend the other arm and grab for all that scattered energy, bringing it down and into yourself. So with your breath, I take back only what is me and mine. I gather all the little scattered, fragmented energy back and inward. Good. One more time, just to finish out the cycle. And then just holding the bowl, feeling it full. Feeling the energy in the palms of your hands, vibrating there. Good, and when you're ready, bringing your hands to the heart. Good, and we're going to sit or take any other shape that we like for our Shavasana or resting pose. Take just a moment and get ourselves settled. All right, so we're going to, before we come into Shavasana, Excuse me, gosh, I've got a frog in my throat. I'm gonna do a little breath work. I'm gonna come a little closer so it's easier to see. So we're doing alternate nostril breathing. If at any time this breathing, you just start getting befuddled and it just doesn't feel natural, just go back to your natural breath. It's totally okay. But we'll take our right hand out in front of us, palm up. And fold the pointer finger and the middle finger in towards the palm. And believe me, mine don't go all the way in either, but something like that. Or alternatively, you could rest them on your forehead, but I don't have those long, elegant fingers and it's hard for me to do that. So I fold mine in. And then what I'm going to do is take my thumb to the right side of my nostril. Yeah. And breathe in through the left. Now close the left with the ring and pinky and breathe out through the right. Breathe in and switch. So now we're always breathing out, breathing in and switching. And after your next exhalation, complete the breath and let your hands drop down and just take a moment to feel the effects of your breath. Maybe you notice the breath is just a little slower. Maybe you notice a little calm in your mind, because it's hard to think of anything else while we're focused on the breath. Now, when you're ready, just closing the eyes or softening your gaze. Letting the breath be naturally what it is. Allowing for a moment your mind to dwell on the things that you feel full with. What fills you up? Maybe a bright, brilliant sky. Colorful leaves being blown in the wind. The thought of a loved one. The exhilaration of a job done well. a few breaths, just taking in that sense of being full of everything you need. When you're ready, taking a couple of deeper breaths, using the breaths to anchor your attention back into the physical body. Feeling your seat on the chair. The heart floating over the pelvis. And the head floating over the heart. Feeling yourself integrated and balanced. And when you're ready, we'll take our hands somewhere to the front body. Bowing the head to the heart. Namaste.